Welcome to the Hope Natural Health Podcast. I'm Dr. Erin Ellis, your host. On this show, we discuss all things health, hormones, and happiness with a little side of this thing called life. Megan Gaic is a holistic nutritionist and acne expert who suffered from over a decade-long journey with hormonal acne. After trying everything under the sun and spending thousands on things that didn't work, she took control of her own health, went to nutrition school, and healed herself. The Get Glow method was born out of what she so desperately needed when she was going through it and takes every aspect of acne healing into account: internal, root cause, external skincare, and mindset. She now has helped over 2,500 clients worldwide get clear, balanced, and have acne freedom, both physically and mentally. Welcome to the show, Megan.
Hi, great to be here.
Yay. Well, I'm excited for this conversation today, but let's talk a little bit more about your journey with hormonal acne. You've experienced it for over a decade. So share some of your internal factors you discovered that, might have been contributing to your acne or what you found along the way.
Yeah, so I started getting acne at 12 and they put me immediately on hormonal birth control. So I stayed on that for over a decade, not understanding the impact it had, especially at such a young age, right? Shutting down my hormones when I'd had like one natural cycle. And my acne really exploded when I came off cold turkey at 22, 10 years later, not understanding anything about the body or what it had done or that there was prep work necessary or, I needed support to kind of get my hormones into check. And that just kind of started a quest into natural health and natural healing, but no one really understood everything that went into acne healing. So you may go to a naturopath and get all this testing and figure out, your hormones are out of whack, your cortisol's out of whack, but they were telling you to put coconut oil on your face, so you weren't seeing that progress. And then no one was really addressing the significant emotional impact piece, the psychological piece it had on my life. And that part was probably the most devastating and also keeping me in fight, flight, freeze and cortisol and then imbalanced in all other areas of my body. So when I finally went to nutrition school, because I just really did want to understand my body more, it all just really clicked into place. I had, extremely high cortisol that was then impacting my sex hormones. I had a decimated gut from being on antibiotics, hormonal birth control, all of the things. And that was really a problem for me too. And I was chronically under eating. I wasn't eating enough protein. I was skipping breakfast, drinking coffee, and my blood sugar was out of whack too. So there was a lot of kind of things that were starting to make sense. And once I started to treat the body as a whole, I started to really see actual results.
Amazing, right?
Yeah.
when you look at the body as a whole. So many of my listeners, acne feels like it's purely skin level. So can you explain the crucial connection between that internal health, like your gut and hormones, and how acne can develop from that?
Yeah. So essentially your skin's a detox organ, right? So if something's imbalanced going on the inside, you're going to have chronic skin issues, right? And there's obviously different root causes that are going to be accounting for that. Most of the clients that I see have multiple, but it's never just a topical issue, which is why so many people have not seen results with topical treatments. And it's the first line of defense at the derm office, or, go on tretinoin, go on like these topicals that burn your face off, or why the Sephora industry is like an insane multi-billion-dollar industry. I think people still really want this quick fix. And before they want to turn inwards and make significant shifts in their kind of like lifestyle, they just want to kind of slap a cream over it. But at the end of the day, if you don't address the root cause and don't address the imbalances that your body's trying to scream at you with acne, you're literally lighting money on fire, going to a med spa and spending thousands on external treatments. You do need both, but you also need the mindset piece, which I think is very, underrated too in this journey, because without dealing with the mindset piece, you're also stuck in that cortisol dysregulation constantly too.
Yeah. Can you touch a little bit more on the mindset piece?
Yeah. So I've been doing this 9 years. Also, obviously went through this myself. The number one, like root of the root of the root of the root is mindset. And the reason for that is like your mind, what you're dictating, your body's going to listen, right? That's just that's just the truth. And with acne, the narratives, the self-talk, the nothing ever works for me, I'm always going to have acne, that identity piece, especially with chronic long journeys. Like some of the women I've worked with have had acne for their entire lives. They're 35, right? So it's these scripts that they're then putting out there, and you're going to get back what you're thinking about, right? So, or you're going to be subconsciously not choosing the right treatment plans because you're kind of staying stuck and still in that like that lack of change thing, because change is really scary for a lot of people too. So the tie of that is just the cortisol and inflammation piece. So you could take all the supplements in the world and like restrict your diet and eat really clean, but if you're chronically stressed, your skin's not going to improve, right? And I think that's the missing piece that a lot of people don't realize on like these lengthy journeys, when they're like, I'm doing everything right, I eat really clean, I take my supplements, I wash my face, I go to get regular facials. And I'm like, how do you talk to yourself on a daily basis? Do you believe and trust your body? Do you believe you're going to heal? Like you can't eat your way out of a trashy mindset.
Yeah. Just like you can't supplement yourself out of a bad diet, right?
100%.
Yeah. So important. So you touched a little bit about hormones. So those definitely play a significant trigger as well with acne in many women, which is why they give you birth control. It's like, oh, here's birth control, because that suppresses all your hormones. So can you discuss a little bit more about hormones like estrogen and the androgens and acne breakouts and how that's connected?
Yeah, so a lot of women, you'll see cyclical breakouts, right? So leading up to ovulation, when we're seeing estrogen and testosterone start to peak, and then also when we're starting to lead into the period, those are where we see like most people start to get that cystic kind of anywhere you would have a beard, jaw like acne, chin breakouts, and it's kind of like clockwork for women. They know exactly when they're ovulating or when they're about to start to bleed, because they'll get these breakouts. But again, we have to dig deeper into why are the sex hormones out of place, right? And the foundational hormones of like insulin and cortisol are often the culprits, or their like liver and their detox pathways aren't working the way that they should. So we're getting re-upcycled of these hormones, and they're way in excess, and the body is not detoxing them. So it gets pushed out through the skin at the same time every month too. So that's why, again, we have to dig deeper than just like, oh, take a hormone balancing supplement, which is what I see all over social media. And it makes me just like, because that's, again, it's not addressing the root, it's just suppressing it, right? It's just kind of a Band-Aid at the end of the day. Yes, it's a natural Band-Aid. It's not like spironolactone or Accutane, but we always want to dig deep and understand the actual root cause of why, though, are the hormones out of, why are you getting that cyclical acne?
Yeah, more, like what is the hormone out of balance, instead of being like, oh, can I take a supplement to help my acne? It's like, well, why is your acne there?
Why?
Just like you said, the root cause, like what's imbalanced. Same thing, like when people say it boils my blood too when I read like, oh, what can I take for hormone balancing? Well, what are you trying to balance? What's out of balance? Let's figure out, why is it out of balance?
Yes.
But that's society. That's what we've been taught our whole lives. Like, you have this, take this. Here's a quick fix, right? It's like, well, it could work, but it's not fixing anything. It's just merely a Band-Aid. Because you probably
transferred to the natural health industry, right? Like, we've taken that model and just put supplements, and people are like, yeah, but it's natural. But it's still, we have to understand, like, when you're working with herbs, like, they're potent. If you're taking the wrong herbs, say you are already low on estrogen and you start taking DIM, you swing your estrogen super low, and then you start having these symptoms that are even worse. Like, just because it's natural doesn't mean you should be randomly taking anything not tailored to you, right?
Yep. Totally agree. So let's talk about some skincare practices. So there's so many skincare products on the market. It can be very overwhelming with someone with acne or anything, or just wants to take better care of their skin. So what are some key ingredients or types of products you generally recommend focusing on, and maybe some that people should be cautious of?
Yeah, so I do believe that you have to tailor everything to acne type and skin type. So really, at the end of the day, that means how much you can tolerate chemical exfoliation. And so those are products like acids. So the two that I really like are Mandelic, because it tends to be super gentle, antifungal. It's really just kind of the perfect ingredient for almost all types of acne. It's super safe. and it tends to be more hydrating than drying. So that's like a really great star ingredient if you haven't tried that already. Salicylic is also a great one too, but people tend to be a bit more reactive to that one. I'm also a really big fan of retinol, but not tretinoin, not like burn your face off retinol, more gentle approach, right? So I still like these ingredients that are like, increasing cellular turnover and keeping the pores unclogged and, fading scarring and all that stuff. But people are like either way overdoing it or underdoing it, right? And we need to meet in the middle somewhere, and you have to listen to your skin. Your skin, like your body, is always going to communicate what is best for it. So I always recommend start super slow, start with one active at a time, give yourself break days, add in another, go super slow and build up to it, and also build up the tolerance, because people just make so many mistakes. They're doing like these 10-step systems off TikTok, and they're getting all their advice off social media these days. That's just the reality of the world. But what works for someone, or it's a discount code for them and they're pushing that they're half the time not even actually using, like you have to be really careful, right? Like skincare absolutely matters. And it's hard if you're using the wrong skincare, you're not going to know if you're actually making progress in your internal work, because if you're doing all the wrong stuff in your skin, it's going to stay irritated, inflamed, and we don't know otherwise that the other protocols aren't working.
Yeah. Can you speak a little bit about, what is it? Is it non-comedone? Don't you want
Comedonal acne?
Yeah. Like you want the products to say that? Yeah.
It doesn't matter. They can
say
whatever they want. Oh, it doesn't matter. They can be like acne safe. It doesn't matter. You have to look at the ingredients and you have to double check them for pore cloggers. And there's tons of free resources. If you Google like pore clogger checker, there will be like 5 websites that come up, and you just put your product in there and it'll say boom, 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 boom. This has pore cloggers. Also, you need to be checking your shampoo, your conditioner, your hair products, your laundry detergent, kind of anything that's coming into long contact with your face. Because sometimes people are just like, they have no idea, and then they change that up, and that really significantly changes stuff for people.
And your water. Water is huge. Like what's coming out of your faucet, your shower. I mean, your skin's your largest organ. So I've seen a lot of changes when women start putting filters on their water, depending on where they live. I mean, in Arizona here, our water is awful. So if you don't have some sort of filtration on your shower head or your sink, you're getting some of those chemicals in your skin, and wreaking more than just the skin, wreaking havoc inside your body.
Yes. I've traveled places before where I'm like, ooh, this water, like I'm starting to break out, like almost right away. It's crazy.
Yep. A lot of people forget about that. It could just be the water. Wild.
Totally.
So what you talked about, stuff that we should focus on. What should we be cautious of as far as ingredients go?
Oh, it's like a long list. I could not. So I have it in like my free guide, but also if you Google like pore cloggers, again, these checkers will come up, and like I'm talking, there's like probably 150 ingredients that you should avoid. So it's great. Back in the day when I started, you had to cross-reference yourself at the store, but now we have a Google checklist for that. So there are many, many, many.
Yeah, so literally don't trust the labels. You have to read the ingredients and do your own research nowadays. I mean, these things are so tricky. There's new names for artificial dyes now. I mean, sugar-free is not sugar-free. You got some sort of artificial something in there. So moral of the story is you definitely do want something that is non-pore clogging, right? Yeah, got it. So what are some gentle yet effective skincare practices that someone with acne can incorporate into their daily routine without further irritating their skin?
So again, introduce one thing at a time. This is where I see, and even with like, this goes for everything. People all of a sudden are taking 10 supplements at once because TikTok told them to, and they're also cutting their diet, and they're also doing a 10-step Korean skincare routine all at once. And then their skin freaks out, and you have no idea why, because you've changed so much at once, and the body doesn't like that. It doesn't feel safe when you're, overwhelming it like that. So anything you're doing, start one at a time. I like to say to clients, like for supplements, give it at least a week, sometimes 2, to see how your body's doing with it. And then if it's all good and you're on a protocol that's customized to you, add something else in. The same thing with skincare, like start with your basic stuff, right? Like you definitely need a high quality cleanser, moisturizer, sunscreen. Those are just the basics, right? So start with that really basic routine, make sure it's a good fit, and then you try a gentle acid, try Mandelic. Do that, see how that feels on your skin, and then maybe you add in a retinol at night and you see how that feels. You just have to really, again, be communicating with your skin. It's going to tell you it's going to get dry and irritated and red if it doesn't like the product or the amount that you're using it.
Great advice. I have heard that you could wash your face too much. Is that true?
It depends. You can do anything. Like you can find evidence of anything, right? Like, yeah, I think this is why everything has to be. So I'm so into teaching women to step back into their intuition. And I think that's really been cut off for a lot of us, especially because most acne clients have been disconnected from their own bodies for years and years and years on hormonal birth control, right? Like our cycle tells us so much about our health, and we were just nil for years and years and years. So we're not used to thinking of our body communicating with us as a positive thing. We're like, I hate this. This is a symptom. Like, you're making me feel worse. Why are you giving me acne all this time at my cycle? Instead of being like, oh my God, thank you. And getting curious and being like, this is so nice. You're on my side. Awesome. Looks like I need to dig a little deeper. And it tells you exactly where you need to dig. Like, it's a mindset shift with that stuff too. And so I think we just need to foster a little bit more of like tuning into our own bodies and our own inner wisdom. And that is always what is right at the end of the day. It's just that we don't listen to it enough. We are often leading with like fear and like urgency versus like gentleness, compassion, and just curiosity at the end of the day.
Yeah, so true. Do we as women really need to do facials on a regular basis? What are your thoughts on that?
No, you don't. No, of course you don't need to do them. They can be, so I'm a medical esthetician as well. So they can be helpful at the beginning stages for severe acne. If they like, for example, like tons of blackheads, stuff that's not going to kind of come up and out on its own. Yes, there's a time and a place. However, you have to be very careful that you're going to someone who's very knowledgeable in acneic skin, because my face can attest to it. Like every extraction I had for years and years and years left pitted scars because they weren't doing it properly. The training for a medical esthetician is like I think it was like 4 Saturdays for me. So it's not a lot, and you're not getting a whole lot of practice on real skin. Now, you know, and everything I learned in my course for acne was wrong, right? So you have to be you have to be very careful. Go into your due diligence as with anyone that you're ever going to work with. But is it a necessary expense? No. And this is where I see people just like lighting all this money on fire on products, because the spas are pushing the products on you, and that's their business model at the end of the day. Like, it's no fault of theirs. That's just how it's going to go. But then they're pushing lasers, and then they're pushing chemical peels, and you don't need it. You need to get to the root, do gentle home care, put your money into the mindset work too. Like, the mindset work doesn't get talked about enough. Like, that's the keys to the castle. Like, the reason you've had a 10, 20-year journey is because no one's addressed your mindset, and that's it, right? Like, that's where my focus is really heavy. I've done a lot of more subconscious reprogramming certifications. Like, that's where I'm going towards, because I have just seen the impact it has had on women's lives to change the focus off of the skincare and the supplements and all that, and onto their mindset, and their whole world changes. So I think, you know, people get stuck on like diet, supplements, and these magic creams because they don't want to do the real work, which is like literally rewiring their limiting beliefs, right?
100%. And that goes with everything, not just acne, people.
Yeah,
mindset for everything. Like, why are you not getting better? Your body's keeping the score.
Yeah,
Let's
of course.
figure out.
100%.
Yeah. I'm going to throw another one at you. What about, because this is very popular on social media, red light?
Yeah, so I mean, I've been sent a few. I've trialed them. Do I think they're worth $400? No. Do I think they're revolutionary? No. It's kind of like a facial. Like, if you have the budget and you want to do it from a relaxation purpose, yes. Is it like going to be this therapeutic, life-changing thing? No. It scares me a little bit. Like, we just don't have enough study on it. Like, and the quality of each mask, like,
there's so many out there. Yeah.
I mean, it's insane.
I personally love red light therapy just in general, but as far as like the masks go, I mean, I feel like you get better benefit from just doing standard red light therapy rather than, you know, buying a contraption for your face or something like that. But I've been using red light now for what, maybe 3-ish years on a consistent basis, and
Oh, wow.
my skin's never looked better. And that's just I have a panel in my sauna, and I use a little
Yeah.
box on my thyroid. But my skin has like never been better. And I used to do the regular facials, and then
Yeah.
my skin was rebelling a little bit. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take a break. And sure enough, it's like probably the healthiest I think it's ever been. So it's
That's great.
interesting.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
I use one. I just
Yeah.
like that stuff. I think with like chronic acne, it just doesn't move the needle significantly. Like
Exactly.
what I wouldn't want someone to be like, oh, Meg said buy a red light and it's going to solve my problems, right? Like
Yeah. No, I was
it's fine to
talking
have
more
if
of
you find
like
it relaxing. Yeah.
for like healthy maintenance of like skin. Because I mean, there is a lot of anti-inflammatory benefits from red light therapy and like mitochondrial and anti-aging and
Yeah.
all of that. So yeah, but for curing acne, I don't think that's your magic ticket.
Yeah,
But
I think that's just what people get so hung up on the things, right? Like it's
yep,
like the supplements, the
yep,
skincare, the red light mask, the saunas, the cold plunging. It's like, girl, no, like get your mindset under control, get to the
yeah,
understanding your root cause, and do your skincare at home tailored to your skin type and acne type. Like, boom, you're golden. You know,
yep,
I just think we're overcomplicating things a lot when it comes to acne, and like people are like, you have to do all these testing from the outset. It's like you're not even doing the foundation. Like you're so stressed out. Why are you spending $1,000 to tell you you're stressed right now? Let's just get you back into balance a little
yeah.
bit, and then let's see what your body does on its own. It's pretty cool that way.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you probably already touched on this, and I think I know your answer. But for someone really feeling frustrated and hopeless in their acne journey, what is one key piece of advice you would offer to empower them?
You always have control. You just haven't found the right thing yet. And I think that is, again, it's such a mindset piece, right? But I think acne clients and myself, right? You feel like even when I'm meeting someone for the first time, like their shoulders are hunched, their heads bowed down, like their whole energy, their self
Mm-hmm.
confidence, their worth is tied up in their skin. It's all they think about. Like their entire life revolves around their skin and healing their skin and on the quest and their, their
Mm-hmm.
finances, their relationships, even, what they're eating, how they feel about themselves, their self esteem. And I think you're not the anomaly that can't be fixed, right? You just
Right.
haven't found the right thing yet. And until you do, you have to be gentle and compassionate, like treat yourself as you would a best friend or a smaller version of yourself, like an inner child version of yourself, because like your body's just trying to communicate something. And I think sometimes when we switch from that, like, oh, my body hates me, I have acne, to like, oh my God, thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to dig a little deeper and get
Mm-hmm.
that curiosity and that gentleness. We start to see a lot of shifts just from that
Yeah.
alone. And I think there's a big relief. Like my clients always say, like usually as soon as they sign up working with me, their acne starts to clear up because their inflammation lowers because they are giving that battle to someone else. Like
Yep.
you can't heal it on your own. You're not an expert. It's too complex at the end of the
Yep.
day. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
take that onus
absolutely.
and stress off of you. That's why people like myself exist, to help and give you the
Yeah.
answers in like even 6 months versus you struggle for another 10 years.
Absolutely. And that's why I do what I do. It's like stop trying to fix your hormones on
Totally.
your own. They're very complex, very
Very
hard.
complex.
I didn't want to do
Very hard.
hormones in school. I hated them and people ask me why. And I'm like, because they're hard.
They're so
Hormones
hard.
are rough and every
Yes.
body's different. Every body is different. So it's
100%.
like, well, why would I
Yeah.
want to do something that's hard? That's no fun. But now I love it.
Right?
Because when you give someone like the answer to why they feel the way they feel, they're like, I mean, just like you said, it's like, oh, sense of relief, stuff clears up right away. They start feeling like
Yeah.
$1,000,000 because they finally have an answer as to
Yeah.
why they feel like it, instead of being like, oh, you just have acne. You're one of the unlucky ones.
I know. And I always say to clients, like, obviously I do this, like I'm in this for acne, but I'm like, it's so much deeper than that for me. Like it's really about giving women their lives back. Like
Yeah.
that is what I care about. That is my passion. That's what lights me up. With acne, we know this, right? It's never
Yeah.
just about that one symptom. It's about
Yep.
all of the things underneath it,
Yeah,
including,
for sure.
the mindset and internal stuff.
Talk a little bit about how some women can work with you from it's your Get Glow method, correct?
Yeah. So right now I just do a 6-month coaching container. It's very high touch point. That's just what I love and always have loved. So we do kind of a mix of understanding, again, exactly what every physical symptom is trying to communicate. So we're not just healing the skin, we're, healing the gut, the hormones, the detox pathways, sleep issues. We're also obviously dealing with your skincare routine, and then we're doing subconscious reprogramming work as well. So we're doing a lot of kind of transformation. My goal for all clients is at the end of the 6 months, you're living your healthiest, happiest, most aligned self, like not only physically, but emotionally as well, because every physical symptom has an emotional symptom to it too. And if we don't do both, there's going to be stagnation still.
Oh, absolutely. That's wonderful. Well, I'll wrap it up with one final question I ask all my podcast guests. What would be your best or favorite health tip that you can share with the audience?
Honestly, is listening to your intuition and that your body's on your side. And that was a hard lesson for me to learn. I had a lot of chronic health issues until I started approaching my life that way, and it's been life-changing.
Yeah, love that. Love that. We need to be more in tune with our own selves. We forget. Yeah. So, Megan, it's been so wonderful chatting with you about all things acne. Is there anything else that we missed that you wanted to mention?
No, I just think, along the lines of just don't give up. Like, you will always find that solution.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we'll have her website, thegetglowmethod.com, linked in the show notes. Her social media account, same, Get Glow Method. And it's been wonderful chatting with you. I appreciate you being on the show.
You too. Thank you.
That's a wrap, everyone. We will see you all again next week. And guess what? It is going to be our 200th episode. You're not going to want to miss it. See you again next week. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment below. And if you haven't done so, please be sure to give us a rating on your favorite podcast platform. Join us weekly as we inspire you to be your best version. For more, follow me on Instagram at dr.erinellis. Until next week, you got this.